Ninus married Onus or Menonus, a general under King Ninus, and she became an advisor to King. Her advice led him to great success, and at the siege of Bactra, she personally led a party of soldiers to siege a key defensive point, leading to the capture of the city. Ninus was so struck that he fell in love with her and tried to compel Onus to give her to him as a wife. First offering his own daughter Sunani in return, and eventually threatening to put out his eyes as punishment. Out of fear of the king and out of doomed passion for his wife, Onus fell into a kind of frenzy and madness and hanged himself. Ninus then married Semiramis. That's pretty fucked up.
Right.
Like, you see what I'm saying? I mean, they were brutal back then. This is like stories, man. You know what I mean? It was like freaking children heard this stuff, man.
Right.
That's some pretty. That's crazy.
He's like offering your daughter, like, hey, I'll give you my daughter, and like it's just like, Daddy, you're not gonna offer me, are you?
Look at the end, though. I mean, he fell into a kind of frenzy and madness and hung himself. You know what I mean? So that right there is crazy. I guess that would kind of go with Judas too. That's probably where they got that whole idea. Because Judas did that after he betrayed Jesus.
Oh. Wait. What?
Judas?
Yeah.
Whenever he betrayed Jesus for the gold pieces.
Yeah.
He was supposed to have gone into a frenzy and a madness and eventually hung himself. So.
That's
Okay. So, let's figure out what Derricado is. Alright, from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Okay. Now it says Atergatis, known as Derceto by the Greeks, was a chief goddess in the northern Syria in classic antiquity. Now, this is supposed to be redirected from Derceto, so I'm guessing this is the same person, but it said that it was Greek goddess of northern Syria in classic antiquity. Primarily, she was a fertility goddess, but as the Baalat, the mistress of her city and people, she was.
Hold on, excuse me. Can you send a link?
Yeah. No, this is what I was talking about where I wanted to go over this, you know what I'm saying?
The serpent goddess, yeah.
And there it is in the chat.
Thank you.
And I can change my screen share to show that too. Atergatis is what the name is supposed to be on there. Here, let me go back into reading it. Primarily, she was a fertility goddess, but as the Baalat, the mistress of her city and people, she was also responsible for their protection and well-being. Her chief sanctuary was at Hierapolis, modern Manbij, north of Aleppo in Syria. Michael Rostovches calls her the greatest mystery of the North Syrian lands. Her consort is usually Hadad as Etertatu, Asherathe, doves and fish were considered sacred to her. Doves and fish were considered sacred to her. Doves as an emblem of the love goddess, and the fish as a symbol of the fertility of life for the waters. See, there we go. So doves represents the love goddess.
And see, I never knew that. I always thought they symbolized spirituality. Symbolize spirituality. Although it does make sense because I think they do release. See, they release doves at weddings, but they also release doves at funerals. That's interesting.
And then fish were the fertility and life of the waters, and fish as a symbolic of the fertility and life of the waters. According to a 3rd century Syriac source in Syria and in Uhay, Edessa, the men used to castrate themselves in honor of Terafal. Now, castration.
And they used to do it themselves.
You weren't cool back then if you didn't cut your balls off.
But to do it yourself?
Yeah.
I know guys who are too afraid to shave with a razor.
I mean, dude, people were freaking lining up, freaking castrate other people, man.
Disgusting.
I mean, there was nothing cooler.
Wild. Nothing cooler. Nothing. Come on.
Like you
I can
weren't
think
cool.
about 10 things right now.
You weren't cool in Syria if you didn't cut your balls off.
That is so wild. Oh my gosh. So now we should do another poll. Would you cut your balls off for $1 million?
This is today's time. That's not in style now. Okay?
No, I'm asking you for it, but we did it for money. So we were talking about the money.
That's on another episode. That's on another episode.
Continue. That is insane.
But you know the story of Kronos, don't you?
Okay, so not the story probably that you're about to tell me, because Kronos.
You know who Kronos' father was?
Wasn't it that guy with the
Uranus?
No, we just read about
it. It was Uranus.
I know, but it was just funny because it's like, you know who his dad was. Like, oh, okay.
But he
just
was.
Read about Kronos. Yeah, we just did him. I'm looking at my thing now.
No, you gotta understand something. Kronos was the son of Uranus, but Uranus had a sexual appetite, and he'd run around having sex with all these different women, and it annoyed his wife. So,
I could imagine.
So what happened was Kronos castrated him. Like it goes all the way back even into the freaking Greek and the Phoenicians, man. Castration has always been there.
There's a guy that looks like Kronos on mine, and I do remember this because we talked about Gaia, but I don't remember it. Uranus,
no.
Uranus being the dad. I thought it was
the blood. The blood from his balls dripped into the sea and created sea foam. Okay, and the sea foam eventually, I believe, created Aphrodite. Not possible. It could have been another goddess, but it was Aphrodite. You see, that's kind of weird that it brings that up too, because like here you have the love goddess, and then you have the fish who are symbolic to fertility and life of the water.
Yeah.
I
was just looking about what else we were learning, because I remember, that 8th year is where we were, that AER. What is AER's connection to Cronus?
No,
because
Aeon goes farther. It goes into the Scythians and the Sumerians. And Herodotus was actually doing research on the Scythians. Okay, so and time periods too to find out. We really do need to kind of go back and look at time periods, because I couldn't tell you specifically which came first on a lot of these stories we've been talking about. So.
See, this is what threw me, because we were talking Erebius and Nyx, and then and Cronus. So like we were talking about, remember, like it was, you say air, it was air, but when I looked it up, it came and pulled up aether, and then it's talking about
AER.
Yeah,
I remember that R.
Yeah, that's
air.
why I was, because I knew Cronus was familiar, but it just says that Aether was the offspring of Cronus, and Cronus is the god of time. That's right. And then, okay, because I had it in my notes. I'm like, I know this name,
see,
but I don't.
You know who Cronus is, don't you?
Yeah, well, the god of time, and then, but
well, you know who his son is, right?
Aether.
Well, there's it even goes Zeus. Zeus, yeah, he's the son of Kronos. And Kronos was trying to eat all of his children. He was hungry.
What in the heck is this? You understand? And see, stuff like that makes me really weary, because, like, I know parents that sacrifice their children and their children's children. Like, I know parents that'll sacrifice their grandkids, and I can only imagine, like, where it comes from. Like, there is a reason this mentality, even today, is so dominant or prominent.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I didn't know that, though. And I feel like maybe I do from Hercules. It makes me want to go back. You know that cartoon movie Hercules? That was such a good movie. It makes me want to watch it, because I feel like they talked about Cronus being Zeus's dad in there, but it was real brief. It was like in a song or something.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
Uh-huh.
Now, according to a 3rd century Syriac, where we just left off right there, from that day to present one. Okay, according to a 3rd century Syriac source, in Syria and in Edessa, the man used to castrate themselves in honor of Teratha. But when King Abgar became a believer, he commanded that anyone who emasculates himself would have a hand cut off. So if you decided to cut your balls off, freaking, they were also gonna cut your hand off. So you're gonna be walking around without freaking balls and a hand missing. All right. And from that day to the present, no one in Urhai emasculates himself anymore.
I mean, like, it's really crazy that the extremity to get people to stop having to be, hey, you're going to lose your hand.
I mean,
did they not know that's how you made kids? Like, once you cut off your balls, you're making kids.
You don't need your hands after you cut your balls off. I mean, there's just no need for them. Yeah, I mean, what else you need your hands for? Shit, like.
Put it to eat, or use the bathroom, or
you got another hand. I mean, you got the dirty hand, you got the clean hand. That's the way they lived. You used your dirty hand to do dirty things, and you used your hand to do clean things. Just keep your dirt.
That's already instilled in me. I only use my left hand for, like, I literally use my left hand for everything. The only reason I stopped is because I found out that the left side is the side that you would use.